What's up guys, Matt here, working on the 40 again today, and check it out. So in today's episode, I'm going to be installing heat into the 40. I got some parts here from Summit. This is a heater, it's got the heater core and the blower motor built into it. I also have some parts from Vintage Air, just some hose ends and some hoses. The reason I'm upgrading the heat is because this is the original heater. You can see there's not much to it. It's quite old. I think it leaked. There's only louvers on the front for adjustment. The other reason I'm putting new heat into this cab is because my wife is always cold.
What?
And she'll probably want some warmth when we're cruising around. So let's get at it.
The first thing we're going to do is install the brackets on the side of the heater box that came with the heater. Now I'm going to put the heater inside the cab on top of the firewall where it seems to fit just perfect. A few quick marks with the Sharpie and then it's back out of the cab with the heater. Just got to remove some of the epoxy with the roll locks to get it ready for welding. The heater goes back into the cab for a few quick tacks, and as soon as I do, it comes right back out again for final welding. Next, I removed the front cover off of the heater core in order to fabricate a new mount for the ductwork. Anytime I'm making anything out of metal, I always start by grabbing a piece of poster board, and then I use the poster board to make a template because the poster board is cheap and it's easy to work with. Once all the holes are marked with the Sharpie, I'll transfer this template to a piece of sheet metal. Then it's just a matter of deburring the edges and rounding off the corners for a more finished look. Here I'm marking all the holes in the sheet metal with a center punch. I like to circle the holes with a Sharpie to make them easier to see when I get over to the drill press. After the holes are drilled, the plate gets mounted back onto the front of the heater box, and you guessed it, it goes back into the truck again. Next comes the dashboard, which has been installed and uninstalled about 1,000 times now, so that I can get a quick measurement and make a mark with a Sharpie. Then the dashboard comes back out again. Here we're on to sheet metal fabrication of the ductwork, which, as I said earlier, always begins with a cardboard template. Here I need to replicate these tabs that hold the heater core in place, so I'm doing that by using some 1/2-inch solid stock that I'm going to weld to the inside of the plate. Here you can see the finished product. These two larger portions are going to be used to direct the air into the passenger's laps, and the upper piece is going to direct the air towards the defrosters. Compared to the original part, which was designed to be attached to some universal ductwork kits that they sell, but I didn't think those would be good in this application. Time to see how it all fits. Here's the installed assembly. You can see the upper portion that needs to point to these holes on the dash where the defrosters come out. There's not a lot of room above the pedal assemblies on the driver's side, but I should be able to fabricate a duct that will fit above there, and the passenger side, there's plenty of room. Alright, so this next step, I'm going to be making the ducts for the defrosters. Alright, about midway through the ducts here, I need to make a couple bends in them, so I head over to the vise to make quick work of that. Okay, here's the finished defroster ducts. You can see the one with the longer piece of tube is for over the brake pedal assemblies. And here's the right side, which is essentially just a mirror image of the driver's side. Alright, next I want to install these into the dashboard, but before I can do that, I need to drill out the holes in the top of the dash to make room for a larger spot belt. Okay, here are the ducts installed. I also went ahead and threw a coat of paint on the front panel of the heater box because it's probably the last time it's coming out of here for a while. Okay, the last step is to connect the defroster ducts to the heater box, and for that I'm just using some corrugated tube that I got at the hardware store. Okay, here's the finished product. It turned out better than expected. The ductwork should keep the defrosters pretty warm, which should keep the windshield from fogging up, and the lower portion of ductwork should keep the passenger compartment nice and warm as well. Just going to throw the dashboard back in one last time for good measure before I get started on the next portion of this project. For the next portion of this job, I want to install the bulkhead fittings on the firewall, which will connect the heater hoses to the heater core. For that, I'm going to drill a couple holes in the firewall, probably about somewhere up in here. That way, when final assembly comes, I can connect these two to the heater hoses on the engine right here. These two fittings will mount on the inside of the cab, which will allow me to connect the rubber hoses to the heater core on these two fittings right here. Just going to install these fittings to see how they look for now, and with that, I think this job is complete.
Alright, I guess that's going to be it for this one. So as usual, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.